Hi, I'm Nick and this is the TBT channel. In this video, in this series of videos, we are going to take a closer look at the Air Arms Pro Sport. We're going to look at how to take it apart, what to do once it's taken apart, and then how to put it back together. So, and also, and also, um, I'm often asked, what wine should I drink with I don't know, a Viroc HW77 or a Gamo XXXIM 1000S or similar. So we're going to be doing a little bit of matching our wines to our guns tonight. So this evening we have a Chateau Laborde from the Haute Medoc region. And if we look on the back here, old man moment, it says here it is particularly good with red meats, strong cheeses, and 2-2 underlevers. So that will be what we're having. So without any further ado, cheers. Now, I will explain. It's late at night. It is actually quite late at night. I've been doing these videos for, it feels like months. Probably, I think I've put out an air rifle related video every night for the last 6 weeks. Which is great, which is fine, which is groovy. But tomorrow our daughter goes into respite. Our daughter, most of you already know this, is disabled, and every now and then she goes away for a few nights into a respite centre. We get a few nights off. So we've got a few nights off this weekend. So I'm hoping to get a few videos made so that I don't have to work over the weekend. So this will be for next week, but it's late at night and I'm just getting it so that I can have a lie in and do bugger all for a bit. So here is our Pro Sport. Sorry, I shouldn't. I'm oversharing, aren't I? Anyway, the Medoc. The Medoc is good. I'll put that there. The Pro Sport is a fantastic rifle. It's the flagship, probably price wise, certainly of the Air Arms range. Underlever, same as the TX. 99mm stroke, same as the Mark III TX. Glided bits and bands on that, and the other inside, which is lovely. A lot of people say they're tuned out of the box, which does not explain why the TX200 and Pro Sport are the most bought kits that we produce. But anyway, let's take it apart and find out what's inside. I've already taken off all the bolts from this, so there were two at the back here on the trigger guard, and there's two each side of the stock. I've removed all of those because it makes my life easier. So turning it over, be careful not to spill the wine. Now this is a Trek, okay, this is different from the TX. Lift up the arm to that point, the stock lifts up, forwards and out. Do you remember those Playtex? Was it the Playtex advert? Lift and separate. Lift and separate. It's a Playtex. It is a Playtex stock. Now, once we're into here, we're in familiar territory. Excuse me. We have a bolt at the back here, which is usually the bolt that we would use to undo everything with the TX200. And it is the same with the Pro Sport. So we want to put the gun onto a suitable surface, a strong surface, and we want to undo this bolt. Now, the reason I was concentrating there, if you put just the right amount of pressure onto this part here, pushing downwards, you'll find the point where the bolt isn't touching on the bottom or the top of that hole as it goes down, and that will mean it can turn easily. You may need a spanner to get it going, but quite often they're finger tight. So, and at the end of this, same as with the TX, at the end of this, by pushing up and down here, you can get a gauge for the preload that is inside of the gun, because you don't want to undo that and then everything twang out all over the place. So I can feel that that is the amount of downward pressure I need to undo that. I've got all the spring under control, and there you go. I have no idea what's inside this gun actually. I bought it second hand. It shoots quite nicely, but I don't know what's in there. So that is it. That is all the preload I had. Away comes the trigger unit. I'll put him there. Next, we need to remove the compression tube and the piston, and this is where it's different. I need an tool. Oh, for the removal, should have told you this. For the removal of the screws around the stock and the back, we need these two Allen keys, which measure 4.9, so I'm guessing that's a 5mm Allen key there, and 3mm, so a 3 and a 5mm Allen key to remove the stock and get you this far. So now we have, inside of here, this moves freely because there's no spring pressure. Inside of here we have the cocking link from the cocking arm, and you can see there's not a cocking screw, it is a cocking screw at the front there. So we now need an Allen key that will fit that, and that's this one here. I'm guessing he's going to be 4mm, 3.95. He is a 4mm Allen key, so we use him to undo that bolt there and remove that bolt, put him safely aside with the others. Now that arm and that link lift free, and we can push out everything towards the back. Oh, what an hooky mess. Let's get some tissue to lay it onto. Oh, look at that, it's all come out, all of it in one big gloopy lump. Pop him down. I'm going to get, I feel I'm going to need more tissue for this. What we need to do now is, while we're here, if you haven't watched my Should I Buy a Pro Sport video, please watch it, because I show you how to decock this gun if it ever gets stuck. There is an anti-bear trap and almost nobody knows where it is. It is this little button here. You can see it there. Now we've cleared everything out the way. This part here, that is the anti-bear trap. So when everything's in place in the gun, it's almost hidden, it's almost inaccessible there. But if your gun ever gets caught, it hasn't quite stuck into the trigger, so you can't fire it, but the spring is under tension, that's the button you need to get somebody else to press with a screwdriver while you are holding all of the pressure of the spring on these 2 points. Take up the tension, they push that, then you can allow everything to go forward safely. We do not need to degrease inside of this part of the gun. You may want to, but it is not necessary because it has nothing to do with the firing of the gun. So here we get the inside pieces of the gun, and we have a spring guide. Not sure what type, what breed, what make, but we have a spring guide, we have a spring, and we have a top hat. Now it's a plastic top hat. It looks like it could even be a Mark 1 TBT top hat. I don't recognise the rear guide, but quite often, you know, people will have got various bits and pieces over the years and just cut and shut and put different things in the guns. But that looks kind of like a Series 1 TBT top hat. Let's check the dimensions actually. 14.2. Yeah, there's a good chance that that's what that is. And the rear guide, it's got a metal part at one end. 14.18, 14.25. So it's a taper around about 14.2 as well on that one there. So we'll pop him over there. Now I'm not going to be reusing the spring or the top guide in this video because I'm putting one of our Maxi export kits into this gun, which means I'm going to put it up from the 11 foot-pound it was doing before to about 15-ish. So I shall just toss that into the bin. And there we are. We have the gun apart. We have our trigger unit there. Do I need to do a video on adjusting this trigger? I've done one on the record trigger. It may well be worth doing one on the CD trigger as well. Here's an interesting thing. The record trigger from HW, the TX200, was unofficially a copy of the HW77, and the CD trigger unit is unofficially a copy or an improvement on the record trigger unit, because CDs were better than records. It just, I like that. It makes me smile when I think of that one. Let's have a drop of wine. Don't forget, a very robust. You want a robust wine with a 2-2 underlever. And there we have it. All I need to do now. Oh, I'll show you here. We have a bearing on the compression tube of this gun. Now, the TX200 has bearings on the piston, but not on the compression tube. All a bearing does is separate it, reduce metal to metal contact. It makes it a bit smoother on cocking. And as Alistair, who will be watching this and will no doubt comment, 'cause he comments on most of my videos, he said it reduces bongxiety. And I really like that word, bongxiety, the anxiety felt by Boinga shooters that they have to do absolutely everything inside of the gun. So there is our compression tube with bearings, and here is our piston with bearings. If I hadn't pulled out the top hat on the end of that spring, I would be saying to you now, if you didn't see a top hat, you've got one lurking down the bottom of the piston. You need to start banging on a table to see if it will come out, and if nothing comes out, you need to get a measuring stick, in this case a vernier gauge, push that all the way down, and you should have 110 millimeters in there. If you have less than 110 millimeters from the skirt of the piston to the front, you have something in the bottom of your piston. That concludes the taking apart video. The next video will be shortly with the glass of wine, and will be on degreasing and selecting a kit to put into your gun. Thank you very much for watching. Like, subscribe, hit notifications so you get told straight away when the next one comes out, and I will see you very soon. Goodbye.